I'll keep letting people in. But with that, Caden, what is your official title? Because I know it's changed. It's very cool.
Product marketing manager. So all new products, I get a handle from development to packaging to labels to marketing.
And he's amazing. And you have a college degree kind of in that.
Yeah, marketing degree.
Yeah,
Even though my dad loved to put me in the warehouse right as I graduated.
Yeah, you did that whole Mauer turnover thing, and just like Thomas, and which I think is very cool. But I thought when I heard your degree, I thought, what a great degree for Sisel, covering all the bases and the experiences you've had with previous customers or companies, that you were able to work with as you were getting your degree has definitely given us some interesting insights in how other people do it and experiences that you've had. But I've really been impressed with such a great job you've done. And you've been on the calls. They absolutely love you. The feedback is you're just super down to earth. They really enjoy that. And that's kind of what I got the last time that you were on the call. So big shoes to fill, which is, I guess, yourself. I told your dad that you're coming on today, and he's like, oh boy. I said, yeah, he's my most popular Mauer now on these calls. And he's like, what? I said, yeah. So with that, it's Mauer Mountain. These guys obviously weren't able to make it to Mauer Mountain. So we're going over the presentation. So just kind of go over what you presented there and what you wanted everybody there to know.
Perfect. Thank you. And I'm going to take that to our Monday meeting that you said everyone in Australia thinks that I'm the favorite Mauer. Thomas is going to love it.
That's right.
But yes, so Mauer Mountain, first of all, so yes, my title is product marketing manager, but as we all know, we all wear 1,000 different hats around here. And actually, I was one of the head coordinators for Mauer Mountain. So it was very exciting to be able to plan that whole event, see everyone come in, hear all of the great feedback and taking all those notes for next year, which is going to be awesome. So hopefully we see some Australia representation there. We are going to be announcing the dates on the Inspire call. So that'll be exciting and going over some really fun stuff that's coming in August. But let me just share my screen and I can go over my presentation. All right. So I went over marketing initiatives. I covered everything that we did from the past year, which at first think it doesn't sound like too much, but then I had to really cut out what I only had time to speak about, because we've done over the past year, from products to programs to events, everything has gotten bigger. And it's making the job extremely busy. It keeps everyone busy here and on our toes, but there's a lot going on and there's a lot to come. So recap of last year. And actually, I think I did my Mauer Mountain presentation last year. So a lot of you are aware of that last year we launched Sisel Service. Sisel Service was built on the belief that we must strive to leave this planet better than how we found it. Sisel's focus is building strong communities and supporting the nature that surrounds them. When I had very first come into marketing, my very first task was the marketing director at the time said, it was right after my grandpa had passed. And he said, a lot of our humanitarian and give back campaigns have been based off of what your grandpa has done. Now that he's not around anymore, we need to figure out something that sizzles now, something that we are continuing to doing. So my very first step was I wanted to think of an objective. The biggest thing with network marketing is all about communities, right? As they say, right? As you start, you contact your friends, your family, even all around here in the office and out in the field, everyone that's a part of Sisel is a family. And there's a very strong community in network marketing. So I wanted to make one of the strong focus on communities. And then the next thing that I wanted to be the second pillar is nature. And I think actually this goes into the next slide. The next thing I want to do was nature, because nature and wildlife is everything to our family. from my grandpa, Liesel, my dad, Tom, all of my siblings, we are all huge outdoorsmen. We love fishing. We love going out hiking. We love riding horses. I think every day this past week, we've gotten off of work and then gone up the canyon, whether it was sometimes not as fun, such as fixing fence and other stuff that my dad likes to rope us into doing, but other stuff like hiking and all of that. We love nature. I love wildlife. I can tell you everything there is to know about every wildlife animal in Utah. I've actually gotten really into wildlife photography. And so I've had to track down patterns of different birds and different when rams are going to be lower on the mountain. And I've really got to fall in love with a lot of the wildlife even past that. So I wanted to make sure that that was a pillar. Even my grandpa, I remember with SFW, a foundation that was just starting up, and my grandpa wanted to give away or do a give back campaign. And he said, find a foundation that's really going to make a difference. So they had found Don Pay, who was just starting up this foundation, never even started, or had just barely started. And they met him, they brought him into my grandpa, had a long conversation, and my grandpa ended up, I want to say, donating $3 million to start that foundation. And now that foundation is one of the biggest foundations in Utah and in the northwest, or in the west of the United States, of wildlife conservation. They have rehabilitated winter ranges of, I want to say, 1.5 million acres. And that's getting winter feed for them, making sure that there's chainings cut down so grass can grow, allowing a better environment for wildlife. So my grandpa had started off that foundation. So that was a huge thing. So since we had kind of covered that, I wanted to focus last year on community. And that is, I'm going to go through, So the first thing I started thinking of is, if we're going to build the community, the basis of every community is children. And I started looking up facts, and I found that 45% of all children's deaths worldwide are caused by related to undernutrition. That's about 3.1 million children each year. 49 million children under 5 suffer from malnutrition, and about 1 in 9 children or people on Earth don't have enough food to lead a healthy life. That is incredible, because I know, at least where we live, I would say no one fits inside of that one. I don't think anyone around me has that one. So you got to think that other places in the world are making up that other one. Then so when you get into these third world countries, it's not 1 in 9 people, it's 7 in 9 people, but it's making up for those differences in our area. So that is when we decided to meet with Convoy of Hope. I had looked at different foundations, different organizations, and I wanted to see where we fit in. And I had started thinking, well, what's the biggest benefits that we have? We are the industry leader formulations. We have the healthiest products. We understand nutrition. We understand how to make a great product that works. And we have a state-of-the-art manufacturing facility right across the street. And so I had gotten on the phone with their nutritionalist, and we analyzed everything that they were feeding in these different third world countries, whether it's Sri Lanka, Honduras, Burkina Faso, all these different areas. And we looked through what they were feeding, averaged that out, and then went through the daily values that children within the age of 2 to 5, 2 to 7, around there, what they need in their daily values. And we filled in that gap of rice and beans is the most common thing. Filled in that gap. So when they do these big feeding programs, then they can fill in the gap. So the kids that are going to school are getting really healthy, nutritious meals than just rice and beans. Let's see if I can go to the next one. Each Nutrify, so when we launched Sisel Nutrify, we launched with a 1 million serving launch. Because of all of the generous donations that we got within like the first month or two, we're able to fulfill another 560,000 servings, because right off the bat, Convoy of Hope had estimated that they would only need that first pilot run, because they were going to test out the different cultures and see how it placed. Right off the bat, they said, we have other countries that are extremely excited. And so we were able to fulfill 560,000 servings. This was next week is in Mauer Mountain. So we started we just barely finished last week the next production of 1.5 million servings. And that's going to go out. I'm in communications with their production. So, or with their operations on them coming to pick it up. And all of this is only possible because of all of the donations, whether it's in the holiday catalog pack or if it's on just the Nutrify. We're seeing people putting it on their auto ships. And all of those, the reason why we wanted to do this, I know I'm taking too much time. I'm already stuck on Nutrify. But it's a personal project, so I have to stick to it a little bit. And now I even forgot where I was going with that. Let's see. I don't know. I forgot now. I started ranting on. But yeah, so we just barely fulfilled 1.5, and we're going to continue to supply as much as we can to Convoy of Hope. And we're excited to see what the future is going to hold for this product. Here's some images of Sisel Nutrify out in the field that Convoy of Hope just sent us recently. It's really, I love seeing that it's being used. I love seeing the difference that it's making in all these communities, and they're absolutely loving it. I remember what I was going to say, actually. The reason why we decided to go with Sisel Nutrify and the donations is because when you donate to an organization, you don't really know where that money is going. You don't know whether that's going to pay their CEO at the organization or if it's going to pay their utility bills. It's good because it's keeping them running, but we know every dollar that's donated to Nutrify from the field goes in directly to operation. It goes only to Sisel Nutrify. There's no profit on that. And when we donate Sisel Nutrify, we know exactly what it's going to. I know that the $2,000 that was donated from one distributor paid for $2,000 worth of Sisel Nutrify, that all of that Nutrify went to children that needed it. It wasn't going to all of the bills. It wasn't going to all of the employees. So that's why we wanted to go the route. Instead of donating money, we wanted to donate product. So here's some more photos. You can see how they make big pots and they dump each serving. It's so condensed that each serving is 10 meals worth. So say they have 50 servings in one giant pot. Some of them will be huge pots. Then they'll dump 5 scoops into it and then mix it around, and that's the serving count. So Sisel, or on Sisel service, so there's children, the base of our community, but we also know that there needs to be a local point. Yes, those are all third world country kids that really need that service, but we want to make a difference in the local community. As a lot of you know, that July 15th, just recently, we had our second annual United Day of Sisel service. July 15th is my grandpa's birthday, and we thought, it was funny, when we first launched that we wanted to do United Day of Sisel service, it was just before Mauer Mountain. And then my dad's like, we need to have it on grandpa's birthday. I was like, I'm planning this entire event that I've never done before. I don't have time to plan a whole service project for the whole company. And immediately it was like, all right, we have to do it. And I'm so glad that we did. Last year we cleaned up public property. Here's some photos. This year we actually did a project for United Way, and we had made little kits that you can see right there in the middle. We had cut shapes out of foam and then hole punched around the edges, and then you get yarn, tie it on one end and then tape the other, and they use this as basically a toy to these families all over the US and other countries to help children around the age I'd say 2 to 5 to learn motion skills and motory skills. And so they weave it through, and then they do a little activity of coloring it and drawing on it and making it look really nice. And it's a really fun activity for them to do in different communities and gatherings. So another thing that we did last year was the very first ever seasonal catalog. This was the season of sharing. This was a fun way to get the Sisel brand out with swag items that we were giving away for free in these packs and making them look really nice and presentable, that you can use that to share and use as gifts towards other family members, friends. You can use it as recruiting, or you can just use it as people that are already in. Everybody loves Sisel products, so what's better than getting a gift of it? So we, in that pack, we had new products, or we had old products. And every pack, just so you guys know, even with the summer catalog, every pack has a 10% discount on top of it with the free item. So you get a good discount on product and you get a free item. And it's nice to have those items out, because it was even funny. We had at Mountain Mountain, we did a rodeo, and we all had little flags, and we were waving them every time our flag would go around, and people were screaming. And it was funny because people were using it as a time to recruit. I had a couple leaders be like, "Oh my gosh, the swag items actually work." They're like, "I've gotten 4 emails at the rodeo because everyone keeps asking what Sisel is." And that type of brand recognition helps everybody. It's easier to talk to someone about something that they already know about. It's hard to say, "Oh, do you know what Sisel is?" And they say no. And then you have to explain it all. It's nice if you say, "Hey, I work with Sisel," and they already know about it. They already know about Sisel Safe, and they already see the brand. They recognize it. They trust it. So that's the idea why we wanted to make all of these items free and get them out in the field. We also had new products in there. We had Sisel Soap. We had Superset. We had the silver packs where the serum had come out. We had coconut milk. We had in the new tube, we had Sisel Seasons, Merry Mint. We had the M Brothers and M Sisters. We had all these new products that were extremely exciting to launch. Then we also, but yes, the holiday catalog. That was an awesome start to what we hope to continue to do every holiday, every summer. When I talked about this, and you'll see later in the presentation, we hadn't launched the summer catalog. And so the summer catalog, the holiday catalog, was kind of the test. And we saw all of the love that it was getting out in the field, and all of the pushes that people were saying, you need to do a fall and spring one as well. But we'll start with summer for right now. So that was the first start to seasonal catalogs. Also, in just the past year, it's crazy to think all of this stuff has happened in the past year. We had the launch, and me being a product marketing manager, I had the privilege of being very close with this product, whether it was from using and developing. We launched Turn and Burn, the weight loss system. This is the most innovative supplement that met weight loss. And we have heard just from the competition, overall, we had lost thousands of pounds. I can't remember what the first place won, but it was incredible. But I do remember what the company, because we're running the field competition, but we're also doing an employee competition here in the office. Turn and Burn. I know a lot of people know about this already, but just the science that you can make brown fat act as white fat just by adding mitochondria to the fat cell and making it burn easier. And I've noticed the difference. Every year, once it gets warm, I start some big project. And in the fall, when it gets dark really early, it's really easy for me to go to the gym in the morning because I go to bed earlier. But now that it's summer, we'll be up the canyon riding horses or doing whatever until 10 o'clock at night. It makes it harder to wake up in the morning. So usually from December, January until March, April, I lost a lot of weight, but then I always end up gaining it back. I end up starting to get on a project, like just in the past 2 or 3 months, I've been ripping up all of my garden, or all of my yard. I ripped up all my fence. I cut down all the trees. I completely redid all of my landscaping. And to save some money, I don't know if it was worth as much time as it took me, but I guess we got it done. But you stop thinking about diets. It's easier to hurry and grab a quick bite when you're busy all day. And then it's easier to cheat on a couple things here and there, not go to the gym. And after taking Turn and Burn, it's funny. I always look in the mirror. I'm always like, it's like I'm gaining weight again. And I always get in my head, and Candace always hates it. So I'm always like, I know I'm gaining weight. I need to go to the gym, but I don't have time. She's like, you're ridiculous. And I didn't go to the gym for the past 2 months. And I noticed that I weighed myself a couple of days ago, and I've gained 2 pounds in the past 2 months. And I was so in my head. I thought for sure I had gained 15. And it's funny because I genuinely believe it's because of Turn and Burn. I've changed the cells on how they're acting, and it's never been that hard for me. It's always been so easy for me to gain weight. And I've gained 2 pounds without doing anything. I know I'm not as strict on my diet as I should be, or at all. And it's been crazy to see that I haven't gained the weight back, which is incredible. And that's why it's less of just a weight loss product, but it's also a health product. But we don't just trust it. We test it. We test it before we launch it, and we test it while it's launched. We did the company contest. We had the top 3 was right here. You can see 36.6 pounds. This is one of my coworkers, and he looks amazing now. And he's even said it has changed his life. You can see it right there on the right, how much he has lost. Right here, 23.6 pounds. It was funny going into it. We all told him, oh, you don't have any weight to lose. And he's like, oh no, I do. And then every day I was like, holy cow, like, what the heck? You keep losing weight. And he started off skinnier than anybody. Right here, my own personal testimony in January, and this actually isn't even true. Or it is true, but, I had started taking Turn and Burn before it was launched, because I was they always joke around about me being a lab rat, because every time a new product comes out, they're like, Caden, try this, see if this works. And so I started taking it earlier, but I started off heavier than I have ever been. And in the past, I bet it took me 4 months, I lost 47 pounds. And I'm still 47. I wanted to get below, I had one weight of 210. And I was like, I want to get below 210. I'm heavier than I've ever been. And then I just kept losing weight, and I got down to 210. And I was like, oh, well, that was my goal. I was like, all right, well, let's see if I can get to 205. I haven't been down to 205 since college, when I was trying to impress my wife when I first met her. So I was really fit then. But I was down to, and then all of a sudden I got to 205, and I was like, oh my gosh, am I going to break 200? And so I just kept doing it. And all of a sudden I broke 200. And then I don't think since junior high, I've been under 190, because in football, I was even bigger. I was working out more, but I was bigger. And then all of a sudden I was down to 187. So not 47 pounds, 49 pounds that I went down. I round up, let's say 50, but it was incredible. And it changed my life. I started noticing that I could be cross-legged more, and I could sit easier. And when I was working on my lawn, I could actually bend my legs more, and I was more flexible, and my whole life felt better and I genuinely believe it's because Turn and Burn. It changed my life. It made me feel better, whether it was confidence or capabilities. And so it was a wonderful product. So that was a quick summary of what happened in the past year. A lot more happened, but due to time from there and here, at Mountain Mountain and here, I won't go into all of those. But what's ahead? Because this is not the end. This is the start of the peak. It's nowhere even close to it. We launched the summer catalog that had new products in it. I know Karen just went over it, but that was a huge success and project. And it is really fun to hear all of the feedback, whether it's on the swag items or the discounts or the free product. I know even with Australia, we keep hearing, can we get more items? Can we get more lip balms? I guess you guys are really liking the lip balms, I hear. But it's awesome to hear the excitement of these catalogs. And the new products that come in the catalogs, or Turn and Burn, and all of these different revolutionary products, whether it's even Max Motion, we're getting into the horse industry even, and the testimonials, which is going to be really exciting if you want to get on the Inspire call. We have personal testimonies coming on that are going to talk about how Max Motion's even changed their life. These products are developed to change people's lives, and it's nice that we can do it with the trust that it's Sisel safe and that it's going to be good for you, not that there's some underlining ingredient that's going to destroy your gut, but you'll get energy from it. Different stuff like that. And there are new products on the way that we have been in the works for the past year and a half. A lot of new products that we are extremely excited to talk about. We're just not quite ready to talk about them yet, but soon. And just know that there is some stuff that is coming ahead that is going to change the industry. It's going to change Sisel, and it's going to change how everybody's doing business. And we're extremely excited for those new products that I'm excited that I'm able to personally work on and be very close to those projects. And then last, there's also programs to advance into the digital era. I know a lot of people know that there's a ton on social media. There's 1.35 billion users on Instagram, 2.99 billion users on Facebook, 353.9 million users on Twitter. And it's crazy to think that it used to be just, I love hearing when my dad and all sorts of people talk about how it was back in the day and how business was done. And it's crazy to think from your community of, say, you could talk to every single person in your neighborhood. You get up to 500 people. You talk to everybody in your town. You could get up to 5,000 to 20,000. Heck, say you could get up to everybody that was in a big city, and you could get to 2 million people. You could reach more than that with one post on your phone. It is crazy to think of what you can do with social media. And we are working on stuff that is going to make it easier than ever. And we're excited to bring new programs, and that's all coming this year. And we're excited, within the next year. So we're extremely excited about what's ahead of Sisel. We're excited about what has already come with Sisel, and it's going to be a big year. And I'm excited to be talking about Mountain next year presentation and saying, look at all the stuff we did this year. And it's going to be a bigger presentation than this year. So thank you, everybody, for having me on here.
And let me just say one thing too, not only products, but programs. We have some really exciting programs that you guys have been working on. So really just, it's, cool things to increase and give you guys different tools to build, your organization in different ways. I mean, when Caden says he's got all these different projects, I mean, it's more than even just products.
Yes, a lot more, but it's fun.
Yes, absolutely.
Like I said, this is definitely not the peak of Sisel. We always talk about it growing, and it is the very start of it. There's a lot coming.
Well, you're awesome. You're doing such a great job. And they are giving some things down here. Thank you for sharing so much with us. Fantastic presentation, motivated. Thanks, Caden. Jen says, best presentation ever. Best wow. So they want the recording on this. So they love it. And, like I say, Caden is probably one of the busiest people at Sisel, always just doing a great job. Let me take my screen back. Or Caden, you're going to have to give up your screen.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine.
There we go.
But thank you. I know it's a Friday, and he's itching to get out to his weekend, so we'll let him go. But you're awesome. Thanks for joining us. They always love having you here. And I'm thinking in the next couple of months, there's going to be some things rolling out that we're going to want you back on to talk about those things. So
deal.
Yep, we'll have you. So thanks so much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Have a great weekend.
You too. Bye.
Okay, guys. So he's always awesome. Is he not? I just love him. Great presentation, Linda says. So always great information. Like I said, he's working on so many things right now. It is absolutely crazy. But let me talk about just a few of the announcements as we've got them. I like to let, especially where it's Friday for these guys here and 5 o'clock, their wives and stuff are waiting, kind of let them speak and then do our announcements. But that is actually going to be changing. I've got a new format that we're going to kind of roll out. It's going to be a little different than we've done it before. So talk about the back orders, unless that's changed in one day. Yesterday, I just made sure with Thomas, Black Ground and Fire and Ice is our back orders. Now we talk about the summer selections, guys. And the one thing that we, hold on 1 second, guys. They ask is what products are we keeping? What products are we not keeping? And we don't know. I was kind of surprised by Tom saying, well, some of them we won't. I mean, I love the self-tanner. I don't know how we cannot keep that one. The lip product too. I mean, but the reality is we are selling out of some of them. So it's not a given right now that every single one of them will come back. So they wanted me to make the announcement that the summer selections, if you really want some of them, there is a list of what's sold out and what's there. So go through and get what you want right now. Max Motion. I was talking with Tom about this, and it's a horse product. Obviously a great product for our US market, as we have a lot of Amish. But, Tom talked to me about a couple of distributors that were in New Ways in Australia and has some horse branches, and we're in the horse business. And he said, you should reach out to them and talk to them about this Max Motion. And I said, yeah. And he kind of threw a few names out there. And this last week, I just sent some messages via just Facebook. One was an existing friend, and a couple others I had friended, and they all were still in the horse industry, except for one just used them as their, they just were for pleasure. But every one of them was very excited about Max Motion and wanting to try it. A couple of them want to get on calls next week and kind of talk about the science behind it. I bring it up because as we come up with these different products and we delve more into a pet line, it opens up new people for you guys to be able to talk to, a whole new stream of customers, potential distributors. These guys were distributors. This one woman, she has a quarter horse ranch in Australia, and she just said, I would love to try this product. She sent me a whole bunch of pictures of things that she's doing, a mare that she's got right now. It's absolutely beautiful that she's going around and showing. But if you guys know people, like I say, this is an awesome product. We have some PowerPoints on them that you guys can print off that shows, the science of Max Motion. We've even made some different ones since Mauer Mountain. Not that you want to, put on a PowerPoint form, but it's got great information. I was really surprised how easy it was to send him a message and just say, would you like to see this Max Motion? It's pretty cool. Kind of a new thing for the Mauers to kind of come out with. And it was like, yes, I would love to talk about a product like that. So a lot of times, people who maybe are done talking about personal care, or maybe they've talked about, our age, TSX. This is just an avenue that's very easy for them because that's the way they live their life. And especially as we get into things like I said, dogs and stuff. So that was kind of interesting for me this week to talk to them and have them be so receptive. Like, this is awesome. A couple hadn't really done anything in Sisel and had just kind of been in New Ways. I shouldn't say that. We don't want to, but in the previous company. But it was like, okay, I would love to sign up and, with a product like this, I could talk to so many people about that. They ordered a whole bunch and wanted to have their friends, kind of test it out. So just wanting to tell you guys, some of these new products that we're coming out with are different than things that we've done. A lot of them are very fun, like the self-canner and different things like that. But we're definitely broadening our lines of products to give you guys different opportunities to talk to different people that you haven't been able to before. So kind of keep that in your head with Max Motion. We have our Inspire call this next Monday. So I noticed that many of you were on it last month, which I loved. Again, it's 7 o'clock, and I think that's the 7th. The number for that is 346-248-7799. The code for that call is 344-917-8193 pound. If you want to get on Zoom, they post the Zoom link up the day before or of each call. So it's a great call. We have people who made new ranks. We've got people with great testimonials, and I think you guys will enjoy that call. We're really this year making a point to be on every one of those Inspire calls. Me, Tom, Thomas, Caden, and Tom Jr. And it's actually been a lot of fun and a lot of cool things going on with so many things that we've got going. Something like that I've kind of been hinting at, that we had some meetings this week. I asked if it was going to be ready in September. Yes, it is. Well, very cool. This is beyond products. So something very great, in my opinion, something I think we've needed in our company, in this industry. So we've got some very cool things coming on. I have a council call after this with lots of cool updates and announcements for things that we've been talking about, which just means for us very cool things that coming our way. So we've got some really fun things going. I think we're going to be generating a lot of energy, talking to some different people and kind of doing things a different way than we've done them, having a calendar for at least the next 6 months. Spent the last at least a couple of weeks talking with Tom Jr. and the marketing team on that. Some of it for everybody and some of it for our market, especially the 6-month plan. So very cool things happening that I just want to let you guys know about, because as I talk to the council, obviously it's something that we'll start talking to you guys as we get those things kind of just set in stone more. And they're definitely that way. I hope we can make some announcements on our next call. Now, our next call is August 19th. We're going to have Thomas on that call. So put your calendars on that. August 19th seems crazy. It seems almost like we're getting through August, which is very, very weird. And with that, guys, I'm going to let you go and get on with your Saturday morning. And those of you who are on here Friday with your weekend on Friday night. Thanks for joining us, guys. I think it was a great call. He's so awesome. I know we're going to have him on again because you're welcome, Doc. He's got so many things launching to Christmas that you guys are just going to love it. So we'll have him on to kind of talk about some of the different programs, products that are headed our way. And it'll be some fun calls ahead of us. So have a great weekend, guys. And we will see you on the 19th.